So just a little reminder of what this class is for and what this movement class is for is just to pay attention, to train yourself to be able to pay attention to your body and what you're doing and the moves you're doing. And they are always going to be things that will distract you from paying attention to yourself. And that's what meditating is. And that's not bad to get distracted. The important thing is being able to just let that go. And the cool thing about movement and exercise is it's a lot easier to pull yourself back compared to something like meditating. So it's a really good way, I think a good segue for someone who just gets way too overwhelmed by being able to sit still and meditate. I think it's a really good stepping stone to get there. Or when you're really stressed, adding movement to any type of practice can really help. So go ahead and start by laying on your back. And then I mute everybody, but if you have a question, just wave me down and I will unmute you. And before we start to add any movement, I just want you to start paying attention to your regular breathing. Just in and out through your nose. Can you follow your breathing from the inhale all the way to the exhale? And then just repeat back and forth. And if you get distracted, just go back to your regular breathing. And now I want you to start exaggerating your breaths in. So think of breathing in a little harder through your nose. And just notice how much easier it is to pay attention to your breath in. So exaggerate, take a big breath in. And I'll take a small break from that. Now I want you to start practicing your full exhale. So the exhales are going to be through your mouth. So you'll take a breath in through your nose and then full breath out through your mouth. And I actually want you to count. I want you to get to about 10 to 12 second exhales. Just regular breath in through your nose and then back out through your mouth. See if you can get to 12 seconds. Might take you a few breaths. See if each exhale you can get a little longer. And it's out through your mouth. Everybody's muted, but if you weren't, I should be able to hear this exhale. And take a break. So anytime we're doing breathing, that's what I want you to do is work on that full exhale. So for the first move, we usually do about 2 to 3 moves and we go 3 sets. We're gonna go less exaggerated cat-cow. So that's on all fours. And I always give you something to pay attention to. So if you get distracted, just go back to the move. So hands are underneath your shoulders. You're gonna give you a nice little push up. So push your hands into the ground. And from here, only your hips move. So as you exhale, think of your back pockets getting pulled up towards the ceiling. So you untuck your hips. And then inhale, back pockets get pulled down. And nothing else moves other than your hips. And then exhale, back pockets get pulled up. Inhale, back pockets get pulled down. So whenever you're ready, and I encourage people to close their eyes. And all you're doing is paying attention to your back pockets. They're either being pulled down on the inhale or they're being pulled up on the exhale. And a big thing for everybody is work with what you have, which means whatever feels good. For some people, it feels really good to arch and tuck, and for others, it doesn't. So just work with the motion that feels good and it's comfortable. And if you get distracted, back to your back pockets. Are they down or are they up? Now you're going to flip over on your back and you're going to do the same movement. You don't have to do the breathing with this. This is really paying attention to your hips rocking on the ground. So you'll lay on your back. Now you're going to untuck your hips so your low back slightly comes off the ground. What I don't want is for your back to work a lot. So don't arch so much that you feel your low back. And then do the opposite where you're tucking your hips, low back goes into the ground, and then untucking your hips very slow. And you're just feeling your hips rocking on and off the ground. Whenever you're ready. You're paying attention to the space between your hips and the ground. The motion that you're trying to do is rolling your hips. You're rolling your hips up and down. And start pushing into your feet a little bit. So now you're rocking your hips and you're pushing your feet into the ground. And relax. Now the same move. Now tall kneeling, so both knees on the ground. You're gonna get about wider than hip width apart. So I don't want your knees too close together. Toes off the ground. You're gonna reach your hips back, chest comes forward. So from this position, my arms are relaxed, but we're doing the same move we just practiced. So your back pockets are gonna get pulled down on the inhale, and then you relax. Don't arch your back too much, you're just relaxing out of the tuck. And then inhale, back pockets get pulled down, hold for about 2 seconds, and then relax. Upper body should not be doing anything. And then inhale, back pockets get pulled down, and then they relax. Just slight forward lean, and then you're gonna stay there. And what you should feel some glutes and some hamstrings. And take a break. Now you're gonna go back to all fours. So hands right underneath your shoulders. Unshrug your shoulders and then push away from the ground. Then exhale, back pockets get pulled up. Inhale, back pockets get pulled down. But remember, the exhale should be about 8 to 12 seconds long, so go as slow as your breath. And notice, does your hip, is it able to move a little better than the first round? And pull the back pockets down a little more. Keep pulling them down towards your knees. And it just keeps getting pulled down, that your spine starts to go with it. But it's all being driven by your back pockets. And take a break. You're gonna go back on your back. This time, I want you to tuck even more. So you're gonna go slightly into a little bit of a glute bridge. If your hamstrings start to cramp, start all over. So you're gonna untuck your hips. That's where your back relaxes off the ground. And then you're gonna roll the other way. And you're gonna continue to roll, push down into your feet until you go into a little bit of a bridge, barely off the ground. And then slowly control it, untuck, and then back to tucking. So it should take you a while to get one round down. The big thing you're paying attention to is the move that your hips are doing, and they're rolling. And think of your feet doing a lot of the work for you, especially the tucking where you're going into a bridge. Think of your feet pushing your hips up into the air and then controlling them on the way down. And start holding the bridge a little longer. So once you get up and your hips are slightly off the ground, hang out there for about 10 seconds and pay extra attention to your feet. Because you're pushing into your feet, that's how you're able to hold your hips in that position. And rest. Now the same move and the same muscles that you just felt, see if you can feel them in the tall kneeling position. So little wider than hip width apart. A slight forward lean, not too much to where you feel you're holding yourself with your back. So just a little bit. And then pull the back pockets down, hold for about 10 seconds, and then relax. And then inhale, pull the back pockets down, and relax. It's the same motion. Your back pockets are getting pulled down towards your knees. You might feel stretch in your quads, and that's okay. Awesome. And take a break. Back to all fours. This time I want even more motion from your hips. So you'll notice when I'm inhaling and I'm pulling the back pockets down, I continue to pull until my whole spine comes down with me. And then exhale. So my whole body is moving, but it's all being driven by your hips. So exhale, back pockets get pulled up. Inhale, back pockets get pulled down. And they continue to get pulled down until your whole body moves with it. And you'll hunch, and that's okay. There's much movement as long as it feels good. If you get distracted, you just go back to your back pockets. They're either being pulled down, they're being pulled up. And take a break. We're going to go back to glute bridge. This time, you're not going to untuck. You're just going into the bridge. You're holding for about 20 seconds and then dropping. So your back's not coming off the ground this time. It's only going into the ground. You continue to roll and then hold this for about 20 seconds, really pushing into your feet, and then relax. Feel all your muscles relax. And at your own pace, you'll just give me a few iso holds at the top. And try to distribute the weight evenly throughout your feet. And just pay attention to the position of your back pockets, which is being pulled down towards your knees. You should feel a lot of glutes, a lot of hamstrings. And about 20-second holds before you relax and then start all over. And you're paying attention to the muscles working right now, glutes, hamstrings, and then the weight on your feet. And rest. Back to tall kneeling, where you're only going to be holding for breaths. So once you find that position, which is the back pockets down, you're just going to hold in through the nose, full breath out through your mouth. So you're going to feel a stretch in your quads, and you might feel some glutes and hamstrings as you're holding that position. Full breath out through your mouth as your back pockets are being pulled down towards your knees. And rest. Awesome job. Now you're going to go laying on your right side. So you're going to be facing me. Fetal position. You're going to use your arm, either a pillow or use your arm. Right side down, left side up. And this time I want you to exaggerate your breaths in. So you're going to take a breath in through your nose. Make sure your knees are as high as you can get them in that position, in a comfortable position. And you can also rest a pillow between your knees if this is uncomfortable. So you're going to fully exhale through your mouth. You should feel all of this deflating. And as you breathe in, think of your whole entire right side of your body. So I'm laying on the ground right now. I'm breathing in into the ground. And then notice, where are you able to feel that expansion into the ground? And then repeat. Full breath out through your mouth. And then inhale. Think of everything pushing into the ground. You can close your eyes. And I want you to pinpoint where you're feeling the expansion as you take a breath in. And I want you to compare it to the last round. And everything in this class should feel comfortable. There's things that are hard and might feel a little uncomfortable, but nothing should ever pinch or hurt. So always let me know, or feel free to modify anything. And take a break. Now we're gonna go into our lat stretch, and that can be done two different ways. It can be done in a rock back position, where you push your hips all the way back like this, or if you don't have that motion, you can put a pillow between your hips and your heels. You could also not rock back and do it in the all fours position. So whatever feels good for you, we're gonna start with the right arm across. So you're gonna bring your left arm down, and then your right arm is gonna come across. You're gonna take a breath in through your nose. Think of stretching the right side of your body, and then full exhale through your mouth. And as you breathe in, you should feel a stretch from your right shoulder all the way down your right hip. And exaggerate your breath in just to get that extra stretch. And then Christian, bring your left arm down towards your knee. Yes, there you go. And if your hips and knees get tired, that's when you can start doing this on all fours. And now let's switch to the other side. Right arm down, left arm across, and big breath in. You should feel stretch from your left shoulder all the way down to your left hip. And notice, where do you feel that tightness as you take a breath in? What parts of your rib cage feel stiff? And take a break. And we're going to quadruped rock back. So the goal here is the arms never take a break. So if I'm on all fours, and I'll show you here in a second, if I'm shifting my weight forward, I'm always pushing away from the ground. And when I shift my weight back, I'm reaching away. So I'm not letting my shoulders relax. So look like this. So all fours, hands forward a little bit from there. And I inhale as I push back, and then exhale back to my hands, but I'm always pushing away. And I inhale, reach back, exhale. So you're always getting pushed away from your hands the whole entire time. Inhale back, exhale forward. So whenever you're ready, and you might feel a similar stretch in your back. And then Leah, push away from the ground. So shift forward again. Yes, now push away from the ground. Yes, always keep that reach. Nice. And Christian, push away from the ground from that position. Perfect. And make a conscious effort, guys, of not using your neck. Awesome, Gerard. Perfect. And then Gerard, stop right there. Perfect. And take a break. And now we're gonna go into just a few downward dogs. The breathing stays the same. So we'll go legs straight, that way your legs don't get tired. Get in the plank position. You're always pushing away, and then inhale. You're only gonna go about halfway. So notice how my head doesn't go beyond my shoulders. My head doesn't even get to my arms. Exhale, back to my hands. I'm pushing away, pushing away. Don't let your hips sag. Then inhale, just a little bit. Exhale. Inhale. Awesome. Your arms are always pushing away from the ground. Only doing a few of these. And rest. We're going to go back to the beginning, which is laying on your right side. How much can you get the left side of your body to deflate? And then how much can you get the right side of your body to push into the ground? And even close your eyes and really picture the left side of your body deflating. And if you're not feeling that, exhale a little longer. Think of every inch of air is getting pulled out by you exhaling fully. You can go back to the counting. Is it about 10 to 12 seconds? And rest. Back to the lat stretch. So start with the right side. So hips back, left arm down, because if I get my left arm down, you can deflate more on the opposite side. And then right arm across. Full breath out through your mouth. See if you can get the similar feeling of the left side deflating that you just felt laying on your side. So you're getting every inch of air out of the left side and then pushing it over to the right. And you can exaggerate the breath in as much as you want to get that extra stretch, as long as it feels good. And switch over to the other side. Now you're going to deflate the right side of your body and then fill the left. And see if you can get that similar feeling. And relax. Back to quadruped rock back first before downward dog. So all fours. Give me a little bit of a tuck. So the back pockets get pulled down just a little bit. Inhale, nice and slow. And then exhale. Your weight is being shifted forward, but you're still being pushed away from your hands. Awesome. Go a little slower, Lacey. And Christine, bring your hands forward a little bit. And right there, Gerard. Perfect. And on the way back, you might feel a little bit of a similar stretch in the upper back. And you're still fully exhaling through your mouth. And rest. Now you're going to go into downward dog. So plank position first. Fully exhale before you go, and then inhale. Think of your hands doing most of the work, about halfway, and then exhale slowly back to your hands without letting your hips drag or sag. So you're moving with your breath. As you inhale, your hands push into the ground evenly as your hips go up in the air. And take a break. Back to laying on your right side. And see if there's a difference from the first round to the last round. So right side down. Fetal position, hand can go on the ground. That can help you exhale on the left side. Full breath out through your mouth. See if you can make the exhale even longer. And see if you can get your whole right side of your body to push into the ground as you breathe in, even if you have to exaggerate the breath in. And rest. Back to the lat stretch. See if you can get one inhale to expand from your shoulder all the way to your hip. So you're in this position on the right side, and then one breath in, everything expands on the right side. Evenly from your hip all the way to your shoulder. Now switch to the other side. One breath. Can you get the left shoulder and left hip all expanding evenly? Can you distribute the inhale through your left side of your body? And rest. One more quadruped, rock back. Inhale on the way back, nice and slow. See if you can slow down the exhale. Should take you about 10 seconds to go back to your hands. And you should be completely empty of air when you go back to your hands. And rest. We're gonna jump straight into half kneeling. So you might want a pillow underneath your knee. One knee is gonna be down, one knee is gonna be up. And you're gonna hinge back a little bit. So you're gonna slightly lean forward. And from this position, you're gonna pull the back pocket down, push into your front foot, and hold. So you should feel a lot of lower body. You just shouldn't feel anything in your knees. So we'll start hinging back, pull the back pocket down, push down into your front foot, and just hold. Lacey, bring your front foot back a little bit. And just pay attention to all the spots that are touching the ground, your front foot, your knee. And rest. Switch to the other side. You're going to reach your hips back a little bit. So take some load off your quad and then pull the back pocket down and then push into the front foot. Pay attention to all the spots that are touching the ground, the spots that are holding you up, and the muscles working. And rest. So that should be challenging, but not uncomfortable. So the next one is exhaling with a reach. So you'll lay on your back. Just kind of like a dead bug with your feet on the ground. Give me a little bit of a tuck, not to the point where your hips are off the ground, just slightly into your low back into the ground. You're going to reach your hands up as you exhale and hold. Each exhale, pretend your fingertips are being pulled up towards the ceiling. On this one, you might want a pillow behind your head because it'll allow you to reach a little more without using your neck. So each exhale, you reach a little more. Allow your shoulders to come off the ground, and they stay off the ground. The more you reach, the more abs you should feel. Keep reaching. Make a conscious effort of relaxing your head. And just reaching through your fingertips. You should feel a lot of abs on this one. And the more you exhale and the more you reach, the more abs you should feel. And just pay attention to that. And rest. Back to half kneeling. So whatever side you want to start with. And if you haven't done this much, you can go out with your foot a little bit too, and that can help. So think of reaching your hips back, pull the back pocket down, push into your front foot, and hold your lower body by pushing down into your knee and pushing down into your foot. That's how you're able to hold yourself in this position. And you can just breathe through your nose while you're holding this. Looks good. And you might feel a little wobbly, and that's normal. Just pay attention to everything that's working right now. And switch. Think of reaching your hips back to take a little load off your quad. Pull the back pocket down and hold. And pulling the back pocket down, making sure that you're not shoving your hip forward. So just getting pulled down, and that's going to take a little less stretch on your quad if you do it that way. And rest. Back to laying on your back. And by a show of hands, everybody felt abs on the laying on your back, reaching? Perfect. So back to the same thing, really paying attention to your feet this time. So your feet tuck your hips for you and they stay there, and then add the reach in through the nose. Full breath out through your mouth. Reach each exhale, you reach a little more. You're being pulled by your fingertips. Your shoulders are off the ground. And rest. One more half kneeling. So pick whatever side you want. Think of reaching your hips back. Pull the back pocket down, push into your front foot, and notice everything that's holding you up, your knee and your front foot. You're almost pushing yourself off the ground, but you don't. And if you get distracted, just go back to what you're feeling. Front foot, back pocket, not shoving forward. It's a lot to think about. And switch. And rest. Back to your back. One more exhale. This time, you're not going to reach your arms. And you're going to relax your hips a little bit so your feet aren't going to be pushing in the ground. What I want you to work on is a 5-second hold at the end of the exhale. So you're going to take a breath in through your nose, full breath out through your mouth. You're exhaling, 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 exhaling. And then you're going to hold for 5 seconds and you're going to feel your abs working. And at the end of the 5 seconds, you're just going to let go and take a breath back in and then repeat. So full breath out through your mouth and then hold the air out for 5 seconds. And I encourage people to close their eyes on this one. And this one feels a little uncomfortable. That's normal. Holding your air out can get uncomfortable. But allow yourself to just fully relax as you breathe in, and that automatically gets you to breathe back in. Make the exhale long and relaxed. All the muscles that turn on is because you're exhaling fully. And see if you can hold your air out even longer now. See if you can hold your air out for 10 seconds at the end of the exhale. And rest. So you're going to finish with what you started with. So stay there and just go back to your regular breathing and see how much attention you can hold just to breathing in and out through your nose. And whenever you're ready, start moving around. Let me unmute you all. Good job. Leah, how was that for your first one?
It was really good. My coach had just sent me some of your warm-up stuff to start doing. So it was nice to get sort of feel the commonalities between the warm-ups and this, but in a different way of just like working on breath and body awareness.
Cool. Who's your coach?
Sean Collins at Murder of Crows in Brooklyn.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I want my goal it's like being able to differentiate like holding on and letting go, or like back pockets up. So it gives you that opportunity to become competent with those little things that you want to do on the training floor.
Yeah, because there's definitely stuff that we've been working on of like keeping ribs down and tucking the pelvis, but how to think about those in a way that's not just, okay, move my body into that position, but like what's actually happening to get my body in that position.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you can make it on Sunday so you can keep practicing.
Yeah, I think I can. And he said he's going to start trying to join as well.
Cool. How was that for you, Allison?
It was great. Yeah, it was really good. I mean, I'm very rectus dominant, so I have to be really mindful of slowing my exhale down so that I don't either use my whatever, not six pack, but six pack or neck. So that the exhale really has to be soft for me. I've been working on that for a while now, which is just counterintuitive because I'm sort of like I'm just gonna power through the exhale and get it all out. But yeah, I get more air out that way if I do that. And then like the working on the tucking, again, it like that back pockets down. Sometimes it's hard for me to separate sort of like the top and the bottom, right? Like, but it was good.
Yeah. You have to go. Cool. Yeah. And that's been huge for my clients because the people who really struggled getting these cues on the training floor because we didn't have the opportunity to just be like back pockets down, back pockets up, back pockets down, back pockets up. The ones that have been taking my class consistently, I'm noticing a huge difference.
Yeah, I think I'm going to use that half kneeling one in a warm up for sure. And just make it like a breathing exercise, but in that position, right? Because it's really, I mean, you can really feel what you need to feel in that, especially with the forward lean. I really like that. Because you're sort of getting a little bit of a hinge too, right? Which is hard for people to get. So it's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Christine, how was that for you?
Good. I have a quick question.
Yeah.
When we're doing the hook line position, when you say push into the ground, because I feel like sometimes I might use my quads to push into the ground.
Oh, yeah, that's normal because what you're feeling there is very similar to when you tuck and feel a little bit of a stretch. With glute bridge, you'll feel the same thing sometimes, and that's normal.
Right. Okay. It was great. I really like the reaching progressions from down until on the way push up and down with the really feel the shoulders reaching.
Nice. Yeah, I've really been liking that combination of just the overhead reaching, the lat stretch with a light overhead reach with then like a heavier overhead reach. Yeah, I'm really enjoying that.
And you really carry it over into the bigger exercises. Yeah.
Cool. Glad you like it. How about you, Lacey? How are you today?
Good, thank you. It was great. I think what Allison said I can relate to, like not gripping super hard with my with the rectus as I exhale, because yeah, so it helps to slow it down and almost do like a small Kegel kind of as I do the exhale, I've been working pretty diligently on that because I had some doming and stuff going on. So yeah, all that's helped a lot.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I'm glad. Yeah, it's a funny story that I used to, and I've never had kids. So, but I used to pee myself when I'd sneeze and jump. And then when it started working with Zach and he got me orthotics, like it stopped immediately. But then I started doing yoga last year and I was feeling good pain wise and it really helped with my mental health. And I got super flexible again because of my old gymnastics background. And then I was sitting on the couch and I sneezed and I peed myself. I'm like, oh, okay. So now I see why I shouldn't just get a bunch of flexibility in. Yeah. So it's a good way to be able to be mindful and not stretch yourself out too much. What were you saying, Lacey?
So if you have clients that do yoga, like, and they are super flexible and this and that, like, is there any advice you can give them to focus on a little bit differently as they're doing yoga or anything like that?
I don't. I have the problem with clients who are not flexible trying to do yoga, and then I have to modify for them. But I would say the same thing, like trying to keep the stacked position. So if you're doing things like downward dog, not going into those positions. But I also tell them whatever feels good. I used to demonize extension, like just doing one of these, I felt like I was hurting myself. But I have learned to not demonize movement so much. So what I tell them is the same thing I tell people in this class is do what feels good. Because for one of my clients, arching her back at all hurts. So with her, it's like I give her modifications of like, keep this together. So if I had a client who was really flexible like me and it hurt to arch my back, I would give them those modifications. But I have learned to demonize extension, or I've learned to not demonize extension because I don't see the value in that anymore. If it feels okay, it should be okay for the person, as long as things aren't happening. Like for myself, for example, like I started peeing myself again. Like I can't blame yoga, but it was the only thing that I changed. I did a bunch of yoga and I stopped strength training for 2 months, and then I started peeing myself again. So like learning to balance both.
Like the combination, like maybe, continue with your strength training and use yoga just as, for meditation, not another workout. Okay.
Yeah. As soon as I started strength training again and squatting again, like it doesn't happen anymore.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Good question. Any other questions for yourself or coaching, just in general?
I was curious just quickly about the inhale and exhale, and I can't remember. It was sort of counterintuitive to me because I thought that we would want to. I can't remember what position we were in that we were exhaling, and I was like, I would think that you'd want to inhale there. Maybe it was the rock back, or I don't know, one of those. But what's the sort of thought process behind, when and where to inhale and exhale?
Mm-hmm. My thought process is trying to restore normal mechanics of inhalation. So with cat-cow, or the less exaggerated cat-cow.
Oh, that's what it was. It was the cat-cow. That was where it threw me. Go ahead.
Yeah, so usually for regular cat-cow, you inhale because you're trying to open up, exhale, trying to close down. But I'm looking more here because I'm trying to get the back pockets. When I inhale the actual skeleton. So the idea would be I counter nutate. So that's inhalation, exhalation is nutation. So that's so if I'm inhaling, I'm tucking, exhaling, I'm untucking.
Got it. Okay.
And same thing with the rock back. Inhale, my hope is you're getting expansion everywhere. Exhale, back to an exhaled thorax.
Okay. Thank you.
If the only time I don't coach that if the person's like brand new, because I just mess up the breathing. So I don't coach any breathing, and I just coach the tucking, back pockets down, back pockets up.
Okay.
Yeah, good question. Any others? Cool. And then Leah and Allison, just so you know, like if anything bothers you throughout the class, let me know. You can let me know at the end because then I can coach you through it and give you a modification for next time.
Okay.
Or just even see how I deal with a problem. Like if my knee hurt on half kneeling, like, well, what do I say to a client? Because I don't want her to think or him think that half kneeling is going to hurt them. Because the words that I say a lot is work with what you have. And I try to find like a modification right away that feels okay. I'm like, does that hurt? Like, no. I'm like, okay, perfect. It's the same thing. So you can do that move, just not this move. We have to be able to bridge that gap. So we can kind of work through that at the end. And then if you have any questions at the end, I'm happy to answer.
Great.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Well, you have
Thank
an
you.
awesome Sunday.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.